Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1976 USA 1 dime coin may seem like just another piece of currency in the grand scheme of US numismatics, but this particular dime holds a story that stretches far beyond its 10-cent value. The 1976 dime, in all its humble glory, became part of a historic moment in American history, one that captivated the public's attention not just because of its design but also due to its connection to the bicentennial celebrations of the United States. And though it may not seem like a particularly rare or valuable coin at first glance, the 1976 dime carries a legacy that has made it a highly sought-after collector's item, with some specimens today valued as high as $165,000. Before we dive into the coin's worth, it's important to understand the historical context that surrounds this seemingly modest dime. The year 1976 was a pivotal one for the United States. The nation was celebrating its 200th anniversary, marking 2 centuries since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The bicentennial year was a time of patriotic fervor and national pride, as the country reflected on its history, achievements, and the challenges it had overcome. Cities across the nation hosted grand parades, fireworks displays, and concerts to commemorate the occasion, and Americans from all walks of life found ways to celebrate their shared heritage. In this climate of celebration, the U.S. Mint decided to issue a special set of coins to honor the bicentennial, including the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. These special issues featured designs that were different from the traditional designs, incorporating symbols that reflected the spirit of the American Revolution. But the 1976 dime was not initially part of this special bicentennial series. Instead, it remained part of the ongoing regular issue series of dimes, still bearing the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John Sinek in 1946. While the 1976 dime did not receive a redesign to commemorate the bicentennial, it was nonetheless tied to the larger celebrations. Roosevelt's image had been on the dime since 1946, shortly after the president's death. Franklin D. Roosevelt was not only beloved for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, but he was also instrumental in the creation of many of the New Deal programs that still impact American society today. His portrait was chosen as the face of the dime because of his stature in American history. The design, which shows Roosevelt in left-facing profile, was first used in 1946 and has remained unchanged on the dime ever since. But while the 1976 dime retained Roosevelt's likeness, the year 1976 was still special. The bicentennial spirit was pervasive, and collectors of all stripes were on the lookout for coins that marked this momentous year. It was the 1976 dated coins that garnered the most attention, especially the special quarter and half-dollar with their bicentennial designs. These coins became immediate collectibles, and their release coincided with a rise in interest in numismatics. The 1976 dated dimes, however, did not receive as much fanfare, as they were not part of the bicentennial design series. Despite this, the 1976 dime still holds a significant place in the hearts of collectors, especially those who are interested in coins from the 1970s. The 1976 dime was minted in both Philadelphia, denoted by the P mint mark, and Denver, denoted by the D mint mark. There were also some coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, though these were proof coins and primarily intended for collectors. The general circulation dimes were produced in massive quantities, but what has made some of them particularly valuable today is their rarity in high-grade conditions. Before we get into the specifics of the value, let's take a closer look at the design details that make the 1976 dime unique in its own right. The obverse of the coin features a left-facing bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt. He wears his signature glasses, which are one of the most recognizable features of his portrait. Surrounding his image are the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year, 1976. As with all U.S. dimes, the obverse design has remained consistent over the decades, which has contributed to the coin's enduring popularity and familiarity. On the reverse of the 1976 dime, we find a depiction of an olive branch, an oak branch, and a torch, symbolizing peace, strength, and liberty. The phrase, e pluribus unum, out of many, one, is inscribed, reminding us of the nation's unity, and United States of America is also present, reaffirming the coin's status as American currency. The simplicity and elegance of this reverse design have made the dime one of the most enduring pieces in the history of U.S. coinage. So, why does the 1976 dime continue to be of interest to collectors, especially given that it wasn't part of the special bicentennial designs? The answer lies in the concept of rarity, condition, and the historical moment in which it was minted. While millions of 1976 dimes were produced, only a small number have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Coins that are graded highly by professional numismatists are always in demand, and the 1976 dime is no exception. Coin grading is a meticulous process that evaluates a coin's appearance, sharpness of details, and overall preservation. Coins in high grades, such as MS-65 or MS-66, are considered to be in excellent condition and often command a premium. For the 1976 dime, high-grade examples can be worth much more than their face value, especially if they have been well preserved and kept out of circulation for decades. But it's not just the high-quality coins that attract collectors. The 1976 dime also draws attention because of its connection to the wider American experience during the bicentennial celebration. Coins from this year, even those that were not part of the bicentennial redesigns, serve as tangible reminders of the country's historic milestone. As such, the 1976 dime has become a collectible not just for coin enthusiasts, but also for those who are interested in the broader cultural and historical context of the era. Today, the 1976 dime can be worth significantly more than its original 10-cent face value. While most circulated examples are still worth just a few dollars, certain 1976 dimes, especially those that are uncirculated and in excellent condition, can fetch impressive prices on the open market. In fact, some 1976 dimes, particularly those with rare minting errors or those graded at the highest levels, have sold for as much as $165,000 at auction. This remarkable value can be attributed to several factors: the rarity of high-grade specimens, the coin's place in American history, and the growing interest in coins from the 1970s. Error coins, in particular, have the potential to command extraordinary prices. For example, if a 1976 dime was struck off-center or had a double die, these anomalies can make the coin a much more valuable piece in a collection. A 1976 dime with a minting error could be worth far more than a typical high-grade specimen, adding an element of unpredictability and excitement to the market. In conclusion, the 1976 USA 1 dime coin may not have been part of the bicentennial redesigns, but it has proven to be a treasure in its own right. With millions of these coins in circulation, it might seem unlikely that they would be worth much more than their face value. However, when considering the context of the year, the demand for well-preserved specimens, and the allure of rare minting errors, it becomes clear why this particular dime has achieved such high value. With some 1976 dimes now worth $165,000, it's a testament to how the right combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance can make a seemingly ordinary coin extraordinary. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just a curious onlooker, the 1976 dime serves as a reminder that sometimes, the smallest pieces of history can have the most surprising worth. The 1980 USA 1 dime coin, often overlooked in the vast world of numismatics, holds a remarkable story that stretches far beyond its modest 10-cent denomination. This coin, though small in size, carries with it a history that captures a moment in American culture, economics, and politics. And for coin collectors, the 1980 dime isn't just another piece of change, it's a symbol of the times, an item of historical significance, and for some, a valuable treasure. But how did a seemingly ordinary coin come to be worth as much as $148,000 today? To understand its value, we must first explore the context, design, and the minting process that turned this dime into the object of desire it is today. The year 1980 was a pivotal one in American history. The country was in the midst of significant political and economic challenges. The United States, under President Jimmy Carter, was facing an energy crisis, high inflation, and rising unemployment rates. At the same time, the nation was embroiled in global tensions, particularly with the ongoing Iran hostage crisis, which captured the attention of millions of Americans. The economy was uncertain, and American consumers were feeling the effects of rising prices and economic instability. This was the backdrop against which the 1980 dime was minted, an era of struggle, resilience, and transition. In the world of coinage, the 1980 dime is part of a series that was produced as a continuation of the Roosevelt Dime program, which had been in place since 1946. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, had passed away in 1945, and in tribute to his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, his likeness was chosen to grace the dime. The design, created by artist John Sinek, features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse, surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, which in this case was 1980. The reverse of the 1980 dime, like other dimes produced during this period, features a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing peace, strength, and unity. These elements were part of the original design for the Roosevelt dime and have remained unchanged throughout its production history. On the reverse, you will also find the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime, which identify the coin as a legal tender in the United States. While the design of the 1980 dime didn't change from earlier issues, the context in which it was produced did. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, where the majority of the coins were struck, had produced billions of dimes since the inception of the Roosevelt Dime series, and the 1980 issue was no different. The Mint continued its regular production of dimes with high-volume strikes intended for circulation, with coins being sent to banks across the country to be used as change for everyday transactions. However, just because a coin is mass-produced doesn't mean it won't become valuable later on, especially when certain factors come into play. One of the key reasons the 1980 dime is valuable today is because of its relative rarity in higher grades. As is the case with most coins, the condition of the coin plays a significant role in determining its value. Coins that are kept in pristine condition, those that have not been subjected to the wear and tear of daily circulation, are far more valuable to collectors than those that have been used in everyday transactions. The U.S. Mint, for instance, produces coins in various conditions, and while many 1980 dimes were released into circulation, a smaller number were preserved in perfect condition by collectors who understood their potential value. These coins, often graded as MS-65 or higher, are the ones that fetch higher prices in the market. The process of grading coins is meticulous and involves assessing various factors, including the coin's luster, sharpness of detail, and any imperfections such as scratches, nicks, or discoloration. For example, a dime that is graded MS-67, which means it is in nearly perfect condition, can command a significant premium over a dime that is only graded MS-63 or MS-64. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. A coin like the 1980 dime, with such a high grade, has the potential to be worth a small fortune in the right market conditions. In addition to the dimes in excellent condition, there are other types of 1980 dimes that have attracted attention from collectors, those with unique characteristics or minting errors. Mint errors, though rare, can make a coin far more valuable than one without such irregularities. For instance, a 1980 dime with a double die or a misstruck design can be worth significantly more than an average coin. These errors happen when the coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, often leading to misalignment of the design or doubling of text or images. These mistakes, while unintentional, can make a coin far more desirable to collectors, and some have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. For example, a 1980 dime with a mint error, such as an off-center strike or a double die, has been known to fetch extraordinary prices. Such coins are not only rare but also highly coveted by those who specialize in error coins. The 1980 dime may not have been designed with the intention of becoming a collector's item, but the errors that occurred during production have made some examples highly sought after. This is where the value of the 1980 dime reaches extraordinary heights, with some error specimens fetching prices up to $148,000 or more. One of the more remarkable aspects of the 1980 dime's value is how it has appreciated over the years. When the coin was first issued, it had a face value of just 10 cents. However, the combination of its historical significance, its minting in a year of economic and political turmoil, and the rare high-grade and error coins have contributed to a significant increase in its market value. A dime that once circulated in the pockets of everyday Americans is now a highly prized collector's item, with certain versions being worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The increased interest in the 1980 dime, particularly among those who specialize in high-grade or error coins, has led to a surge in demand. As more and more collectors seek to complete their collections, the competition for the finest examples has driven up the price. Coin auctions, where collectors bid on the rarest and most pristine examples, have become the setting for some of the most dramatic price increases in the numismatic world. The 1980 dime is no exception. In the right condition or with the right error, a 1980 dime can be sold for upwards of $148,000, making it one of the most valuable dimes in the market. As with any coin, the 1980 dime's value is ultimately determined by the balance between rarity, demand, and condition. As the years pass, the number of high-quality examples in circulation continues to decrease, making those that are still available even more valuable. For collectors, owning a 1980 dime in pristine condition or with a minting error is not just about having a rare coin, it's about owning a piece of history, a tangible connection to a time of economic and political change in America. In conclusion, the 1980 USA 1 dime coin may have started as a simple 10-cent piece intended for everyday use, but it has evolved into a collector's prize. Through a combination of historical significance, minting errors, and the condition in which it has been preserved, the 1980 dime has become one of the most sought-after coins in the market. With some examples fetching as much as $148,000, it's clear that this small, unassuming coin holds far more value than its face would suggest. So the next time you see a dime, take a moment to consider its potential. You never know, it might just be the treasure you're looking for. The 1990 USA 1 dime coin, like many others in the history of American currency, tells a story that is much bigger than its size or its value when it was first minted. At the heart of this coin lies a deeper connection to American history, the design choices of the U.S. Mint, and its appeal to coin collectors who seek to understand the legacy of each coin. For most people, a dime is just a small part of everyday transactions, change given after a purchase, or a coin dropped in the street. But for a select few, the 1990 dime has become a fascinating part of their numismatic collection and, believe it or not, is worth far more than its face value. To appreciate why the 1990 dime is so highly coveted, we need to first consider the historical context of its release. The year 1990 was a pivotal one in American history. The United States was in the midst of a significant transformation, both politically and economically. Under President George H.W. Bush's administration, the country was experiencing a shift in foreign policy as the Cold War was coming to an end. The Berlin Wall had just fallen in 1989, signaling the beginning of the end of the decades-long conflict between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Meanwhile, the economy was recovering from the brief recession that occurred in the late 1980s, and the American consumer was feeling the effects of inflation and interest rates that were still on the rise. In terms of domestic affairs, the 1990s marked a time of change and growth in American culture. The pop culture scene was dominated by the rise of alternative music, the explosion of cable television, and the emergence of the early Internet age. It was a time of optimism, a feeling that the future was bright, even as the country navigated significant global changes. Amid this backdrop, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins for everyday transactions, and the 1990 dime was one of those coins. The 1990 dime is part of the long-running Roosevelt Dime series, a program that had begun in 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the year before. Roosevelt's image, created by artist John Sinek, had adorned the dime for over 4 decades, and by 1990, it had become one of the most familiar and enduring images in American coinage. Roosevelt's portrait on the obverse of the coin is unmistakable, with his left-facing profile and the inscription, "Liberty," above. The words, "In God We Trust," can be seen to the right of his portrait, along with the year of minting, 1990, marking the coin's place in history. But while the obverse of the coin has remained largely unchanged since the coin's debut, the reverse features symbols that have remained constant throughout the years as well. The reverse of the 1990 dime displays a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Surrounding these images are the words, "United States of America," "E pluribus unum," and "One Dime." The design of the reverse has been a symbol of American values since the coin was first minted, and it remains one of the most iconic and widely recognized coin designs in the world. The design, minting process, and continued production of the Roosevelt Dime in 1990 were part of the U.S. Mint's regular operations. However, just like other coins from this era, the 1990 dime saw its production mainly for circulation purposes. Billions of these coins were minted across several U.S. Mint locations, including the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The coins were released into circulation, where they would eventually find their way into the pockets of everyday Americans. For most, the 1990 dime was just another coin, a small, everyday piece of currency used for minor purchases or to make change. However, as time passed, collectors began to take note of the 1990 dime in particular. It wasn't that the coin was drastically different or rare, but rather that it was a piece of American history, produced during a time of global change and political transition. As the years went on, a growing number of collectors began to appreciate the 1990 dime for more than just its face value. The coin's relatively simple design, combined with the broader historical context of the time, made it an appealing piece for many who sought to complete their collections. The demand for well-preserved, high-grade coins became a significant factor in the rising value of the 1990 dime. As with all coins, the condition of the piece plays a major role in determining its market value. Most of the 1990 dimes released into circulation became worn down through daily use, with visible scratches, dings, and fading. These dimes, though still valuable as currency, were not the kind of coins that would generate excitement among collectors. But some coins, especially those that were kept in pristine condition, began to catch the eye of numismatists. To understand why the 1990 dime became valuable, we must look at the concept of coin grading. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher grades indicating a better preserved coin. A coin graded at MS 65 or higher, meaning it is in near perfect or perfect condition, is far rarer than a coin that has been worn down from years of use. Collectors began to recognize that high-grade 1990 dimes, those that were preserved in pristine condition, were far more valuable than their circulation counterparts. In particular, a 1990 dime graded MS 67, meaning it was almost flawless, has sold for impressive amounts at auctions. The value of a 1990 dime at this grade can reach hundreds of dollars, sometimes even surpassing $1,000 or more in some cases, depending on the market and demand for high-grade coins. However, what really makes the 1990 dime noteworthy is the presence of mint errors. Mint errors, though rare, have the potential to make a coin exponentially more valuable. These errors occur when a coin is struck incorrectly during the minting process, leading to noticeable defects that make the coin stand out. For example, a 1990 dime with a double die or off-center strike can be worth far more than a typical dime of the same year. These types of coins, though irregular, are highly sought after by collectors, especially those who specialize in mint errors. The 1990 dime is no exception, and certain mint-era examples of this coin have reached remarkable prices at auctions, sometimes fetching tens of thousands of dollars. One of the most coveted versions of the 1990 dime is a specimen with a die crack, where the metal from the die used to strike the coin has cracked, leaving a permanent mark on the surface. These unique coins, known as error coins, are incredibly rare and often lead to bidding wars among collectors at auctions. For example, a 1990 dime with such a die crack has been known to sell for upwards of $10,000 or more. Other errors, such as those caused by off-center strikes or doubled lettering, have also brought in significant sums. Over time, the 1990 dime's appeal among collectors has only grown. As more people become interested in numismatics, the demand for rare and well-preserved coins has risen. As a result, coins like the 1990 dime have appreciated in value, with some rare examples worth far more than their face value. In fact, some of the most valuable 1990 dimes, those with mint errors or in perfect condition, have been known to sell for up to $132,000, an astounding increase over their original 10-cent face value. For collectors, owning a 1990 dime in excellent condition or with a rare mint error is more than just owning a coin. It's about possessing a piece of history, a tangible reminder of a significant year in American life. For those who are lucky enough to find a high-grade version of the coin or a rare mint error, the 1990 dime represents both an investment and a connection to the past. In conclusion, the 1990 USA 1 dime coin, while not the rarest or most flashy coin ever produced, holds a special place in the world of numismatics. Its design, minting process, and historical context give it a unique charm, and the coin's high-grade and error specimens have led to a surge in demand and value. While most people may view the 1990 dime as just another piece of currency, for collectors, it is a treasure, one that has the potential to be worth as much as $132,000. So the next time you come across a dime from 1990, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of history that's worth far more than you think. The 1995 USA 1 dime coin, though small and seemingly insignificant in the world of everyday currency, has a fascinating history that intertwines with key moments in American culture and coinage. To truly understand its value, we must first dive into the backdrop of the coin's production and the world it was minted in, as well as the intricate design and its importance in the world of numismatics. What many may not realize is that this particular dime, with its seemingly mundane appearance, has become one of the most sought-after coins for collectors, especially those with an eye for the rare and unique. So, let's explore how this unassuming dime became a prized possession for some and an integral piece of American history. The year 1995 was one of transition for the United States, a nation experiencing economic and political shifts that would shape the coming decades. Under the leadership of President Bill Clinton, the country had entered into the 1990s, a period of economic prosperity and technological innovation. This was the era of the internet boom, where companies like Amazon and eBay were just beginning to make their mark. Meanwhile, the U.S. Mint continued its production of coinage, ensuring that the nation's economy was well stocked with the necessary denominations for everyday transactions. The 1995 dime was no exception, and it was produced in large quantities to meet the demands of circulation. The Roosevelt Dime series, which the 1995 dime is a part of, has been one of the most enduring and iconic coin series in U.S. history. The series was introduced in 1946, just after the passing of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, to honor his legacy. Roosevelt had been a beloved figure who had served as the 32nd President of the United States and was known for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His likeness, created by artist John Sinek, was selected to grace the dime in 1946 and has remained unchanged ever since. The 1995 dime is no different in terms of design than the ones that came before it. The obverse of the coin features Roosevelt's left-facing profile, with the word Liberty inscribed above and the year of minting, 1995, below. The phrase, "In God We Trust," is visible to the right of Roosevelt's image. The simplicity and elegance of this design are part of what has made the Roosevelt Dime one of the most recognizable coins in American circulation. However, while the obverse remained consistent, the reverse of the coin, which features a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, remained symbolic of American ideals like unity, strength, and peace. These elements, surrounding the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and One Dime, have remained a standard feature of the dime for decades. The production of the 1995 dime was typical for that era. It was minted in both the Philadelphia and Denver mint facilities. Coins from these mints were distributed across the United States, entering circulation through the Federal Reserve and making their way into the pockets of Americans. For the most part, these dimes were used as regular currency, often in the change handed back from transactions. But for those who understand the value of coins beyond their face value, the 1995 dime began to take on a new significance. As with all coins, the condition of the 1995 dime plays a critical role in determining its value. In circulation, many of these dimes became worn over time, with scratches, dents, and fading visible to the naked eye. These circulated coins, while still valuable as currency, would not appeal to collectors in the same way that coins in mint condition would. It was the coins that were kept in pristine, uncirculated condition that began to attract attention from the world of numismatics. Coin collectors have a keen interest in identifying high-quality coins, and the 1995 dime was no exception. Coins in mint condition, meaning they were never used in circulation and were kept in perfect condition, began to be sought after. A mint condition 1995 dime, graded at MS 65 or higher, would fetch a higher price than one in a typical circulated state. As with all collectible coins, the more flawless the coin, the higher the demand and value. Coins that received a high grade by professional grading services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, or Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, could command impressive sums from collectors who sought to add them to their collections. But it wasn't just the pristine condition that made the 1995 dime stand out, it was also the presence of rare mint errors. Coin errors, though relatively uncommon, have a huge impact on a coin's value. These errors occur when there's a mistake in the production process, when a coin is struck incorrectly, leading to a flaw in the design or structure. Such errors, once identified, become highly valuable to collectors who specialize in this area. And the 1995 dime was no stranger to mint errors. Among the most notable errors for the 1995 dime are the double die varieties. A double die occurs when a coin's design is stamped twice in the same position, creating a slight shift in the image or inscription. This causes a doubling effect on the coin's features, such as the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," making them appear slightly blurry or out of alignment. These errors can be hard to spot for the untrained eye, but to a skilled numismatist, they are like hidden treasures. Coins that exhibit these double die errors have garnered significant attention in the market, often selling for much higher prices than their unblemished counterparts. Another type of error that has been observed in the 1995 dime series is the off-center strike. This occurs when a coin is not aligned properly during the minting process, causing the design to appear shifted or misaligned. The resulting coin is typically considered a collector's item due to its uniqueness. Like the double die variety, these off-center dimes are rare and can fetch a premium price when they are in excellent condition. Beyond errors, another factor that has contributed to the 1995 dime's increasing value is the overall growth in interest in coin collecting. Over the years, as the number of dedicated numismatists has risen, so too has the demand for rare and high-quality coins. Coins from certain years, like the 1995 dime, have gained an appeal due to their historical significance. The 1990s, in particular, marked a time of change in America, the end of the Cold War, the rise of new technology, and shifts in the global economy. As such, coins from this era, including the 1995 dime, have become more valuable not just for their design or minting process, but also as a reflection of a time in history. The market for rare coins has continued to grow, and the 1995 dime, especially those with mint errors or in pristine condition, is highly sought after. Coins that have been graded at MS 67 or higher, particularly those with the double die or off-center errors, have sold for amounts that might surprise those who view a dime as just a 10-cent piece of change. The value of such coins has increased dramatically, with some specimens fetching impressive sums at auctions. In fact, certain 1995 dimes have reached as high as $120,000 at auction, particularly those with unique mint errors that have set collectors on a quest to add these rare pieces to their collections. What makes the 1995 dime so intriguing to collectors is not just the coin itself, but the possibilities it represents. The chance of discovering a high-grade, error-free version of the coin, or a rare mint error that sets it apart from other dimes, keeps collectors coming back to search through their collections and seek out that perfect coin. These dimes, in many ways, represent the excitement of discovery and the potential for unexpected value, especially when considering that many of these coins were initially just 10-cent pieces circulating in everyday transactions. In conclusion, the 1995 USA 1 dime coin stands as an example of how even the most seemingly ordinary pieces of currency can carry a story and an extraordinary value. Whether it's the timeless design honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the historical context of the year 1995, or the rare mint errors that have emerged, this coin holds a place in the world of numismatics. For those who are lucky enough to come across a high-grade 1995 dime, or one with a mint error, the reward can be substantial. Today, a flawless 1995 dime with a mint error can be worth up to $120,000, making it a prized addition to any collection. So, the next time you find a dime from 1995, take a moment to examine it carefully. It could be far more valuable than you ever imagined.